Today on the Caucus, Sheryl Stolberg and Paul Volpe discuss Michele Bachmann's evangelical beliefs and its role in her career and in her presidential campaign.
So Sheryl, you've been doing a lot of reporting on Michele Bachmann, how she rose through Minnesota political circles by focusing a lot on social issues. But on the campaign trail right now, as she runs for president, we're not seeing a lot of that.
That's exactly right. Here in Washington, we know Michele Bachmann as a Tea Party star and a fiscal conservative. But back home in Minnesota, where she was elected to the state Senate in 2000, she really built her career on social issues, and in particular, her opposition to same-sex marriage. She pushed really hard to bring that issue to the fore, and it was her banner issue there.
You talked to a lot of people, her former colleagues in the state Senate and political observers. How is Michele Bachmann viewed by people back in Minnesota?
I would say people in Minnesota either love her or hate her. She's very divisive. But I will say this, I think almost everybody in Minnesota looks at her with a kind of admiration, either grudging or genuine, at her incredible ability to seize on an issue, use it to rally her base, to speak publicly about it. She's very dynamic, and to sort of take that issue and basically circumvent the party establishment and make it her own, which is exactly what we've seen her do here in Washington. She's kind of gone around the establishment and she's become the star.
You talk about in your story about how Michele Bachmann has very strong views about homosexuality. She has referred to it as being in bondage. Her husband, there are some reports that his counseling, Christian counseling, does some what they would call reparative therapy, or some people call gay to straight therapy. What did you find in your reporting on that?
First of all, Michele Bachmann and her husband are very like-minded. So, like Michele Bachmann, Marcus Bachmann has made very strong arguments in public, on Christian radio shows, etc., that children are at risk when parents and educators tolerate homosexuality. The questions that have been swirling around Marcus Bachmann are about whether or not he practices so-called reparative therapy. This is extremely controversial, and he himself has said that his clinic would offer such counseling if a client asked for it. Now, that is a position that puts him at odds with most mainstream medical associations who view reparative therapy as harmful and ineffective. My bottom line conclusion is that the clinic most likely does offer this therapy, as Dr. Bachmann himself has said, to clients who ask for it. But my sense is it's probably not the bulk of their business.
How do you think that this will play with voters as Michele Bachmann, as the presidential campaign gets going?
Well, I think we're already seeing how it's going to play with Republican primary voters, especially conservatives, who really like Michele Bachmann. She's created a lot of excitement on the campaign trail. So I think it's great for her right now. The question is, how would it play in a general election? Where should it become the nominee, or perhaps a vice presidential nominee, as some think? How divisive will she be? Because just as Minnesotans either love her or hate her, I suspect that in a general election campaign, Americans would either love her or hate her. So I guess the question at the end of the day is which side loves or hates more.